you guys, we're going to get pretty heady today. So, my buddy Josh is here, and he is our partner who we refer to for ads and SEO. He's brilliant. And we're part of a big mastermind of practice growth agencies, marketing agencies. We all meet up 3 times a year. And we met up last week, and there were probably 400 people in the room, something like that. And the mentor, hi Kelsey, the mentor was up on stage and said, raise your hand if a year ago, Josh, I don't know if you remember this, if a year ago you were offering a service that had to do with AI.
Yep.
And maybe 10 people raised their hand. And he said, raise your hand if you're offering a service that has to do with AI today. Everybody in the room raised their hand. That's how fast this is growing. And the other thing I want to say is that as soon as you think you understand it, it changes. It's like a kid, right? Like you raise babies. As soon as you think you understand what's going on with them, it changes. That's how AI is, but 10 times faster, exponentially faster. So what I'm going to do today is share the tools that I'm getting really comfortable with. And I'm reluctant to do so because I know how much Josh knows. So I'm going to lean on Josh if I'm like, I don't really know the answer to that question. Because again, it's changing as soon as we learn it. So we're going to go over Manus, we're going to go over Claude, and we're going to go over ChatGPT. If you are a Slack user, and if you're one of our clients, you're a Slack user, you can also use Victor, Viktor. You want to get to know what Victor can do for you. If you're a chiropractor, actually, you don't even need to be a chiropractor. If you're a woman, Dr. Courtney Gowan is running a community called She Adjusts. It's like $30 a month. It's super cheap. She did a phenomenal talk last month on creating an AI assistant using Basecamp or Base 90. I don't even remember what it's called. And I went down that rabbit hole and I spent like 3 hours on it. And then I was like, I can't. It's going circular. I just can't. So I want you to remember that sometimes you just need to do the thing instead of leaning on AI. Sometimes it's faster to just do the thing than try to figure out how to get AI to do it for you. But most of the time, it can really be a great tool. I'll also remind you, here she is. I'll also remind you that AI, part of the consequence of AI is that people have never been lonelier. So She Adjusts is run by Courtney Gowan, who also does, the name escaped me. She runs these amazing CE programs at 5-star destinations. She's incredible. Just Courtney Gowan, look up her stuff. As we go down the AI breadcrumb trail, I also want you to remember that it's never been more important for personal connection to happen, and it will never, it makes what we do so precious. So keep that in mind as we go. The first thing I actually want to show and tell with you, I think I'm going to have to turn off my video background to do this. So you may love him, you may hate him, but Tony Robbins has an app, and the app is called TR. It's this app on my phone. You see this TR? And if I click it, there's a joke now in my house. I say I'm going for a walk with Tony to figure something out. If I click it and I hit call, it's calling Tony Robbins right now.
Today.
Hey, Tony, I'm trying to create a marketing plan for my practice.
Great marketing plans are where the magic starts. Tell me, what's the biggest goal you want this marketing plan to achieve for your practice?
I don't really want you to ask me questions. I just want you to tell me the components of a marketing plan and give me my main needle mover for a pediatric and prenatal chiropractic practice for the month of August.
Got it. Here's what a solid marketing plan needs: clear target audience, compelling messaging that speaks directly to their needs, A multi-channel approach.
So this app is like $30 a month. And that's like, I think it's my favorite thing right now. And I have talked to Tony about some pretty personal stuff. So the only complaint I have about the Tony app is that you have to constantly interrupt it. So you want to be on I'd go for walks with Tony, and I'll bring a headset that's wired so that I can talk right into Tony, stop talking. Da, 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 da. I figured out so much from my practice and also Staffless practice talking through the problems with Tony. So Tony is more of like a thought processor um, through the Tony Robbins lenses. There are a few other like shakers and movers. There's one in self-help. There are a bunch of them who have like AI minds that you can download an app. Just do a search on what's available to you. We are in the process of creating one for Staffless Practice so that you can ask the Staffless Practice powers that be, whatever the app is, what do I do when a patient asks me about money and there are five other people sitting in the room? It will have the answer in my voice. I'm sorry ahead of time, how I would answer that question. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is I'm going to show you in my practice suite. If you have a practice suite, and you guys, this is not a sales class, right? Like if you have I'm going to talk about practice suites as if you have one. If you don't and you want one, reach out to me. That's the last time I'm going to say it during this hour. So here, let me give you a good window. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Good. I just want to make sure no patient names are showing. So this is my actual practice suite. And let's say that I'm like, I don't know how to do this thing, or I don't know what I want to do right now and how to do it in my suite. There are three buttons up here. One button is Honey, one button is Ticket, and one button is AI Suite. AI Suite is like the syllabus for everything you could possibly want to know about how to run your practice suite. It's an AI It's a chat GPT that has been trained. So in order to use it, you have to have chat GPT Pro. Okay. And that's $20 a month. It's worth its weight in gold. If you have a suite and you can't afford it, I'll pay for it for you. It's that worth it. Okay. If you can't afford $20 a month to have a conversation with me and let's do some marketing with you. Okay. And then Honey is our AI program. So I'm going to click on Honey here. And it's going into my Honey dashboard. So it has my AI tools, my compass board, if you know, you know, my important links, my support options, Honey Collect, which is where I put all of the answers of what I want. Like if I'm ordering a website or social media or whatever it is, this is where I do that now. Honey Assist is my own personally trained AI assistant. So if you're our client, we've taken everything we have about you, all of the Fathom recordings, your website, your social media stuff, every Slack conversation we've ever had, we dumped it into an AI brain, and that's your Honey Assist. It looks just like ChatGPT, but it's not on OpenAI. It's private. Nobody's going to be able to look it up and see, oh, Dr. Sharita's having a hard time with her stats this month. It's completely private because it's on our own platform. So Honey AI or AI, the AI Assist, the goal of it is to be your personal assistant. For you to ask and look up and process however you would use ChatGPT, you can use your Honey Assist. Um, I think that I think the password is beta. Sheena, can you find out the password to Honey Assist? I'm not sure what it is. Your compass board is on here too, and other important links and stuff. So every one of you has this dashboard if you have a practice suite now. That's that. Let's go into ChatGPT. You know what? I actually have this download for you guys. I'm going to just download it one more time so I give you the right thing. This is like my third presentation today. Okay, and I'm going to put this in the chat. There you go. Everybody get that? That's the PDF for today's training. So What I want to do, I gave you things like I gave you a prompt to use with ChatGPT to start the conversation, and we're going to use this. Um, I gave you what to start thinking about when you have an idea. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come up with an idea. We're gonna tease the idea in ChatGPT. We're gonna move it into Claude and build a website with it. And then I'm gonna show you how to take that website from Claude and put it into the practice suite. Does that sound good? And if you're like, I don't want to do any of this, this is so over my head, just give us your marching orders and we'll do it for you. But this guide is going to go into asking the right questions for you to be ready to do this. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up ChatGPT. And Sheena, you can interrupt me when you know the answer to the password. Okay. Once you're in chat, if you're not used to ChatGPT, get used to
Yes,
it,
Dr.
please.
Debbie.
Please remember it is not HIPAA compliant. Please remember you do not want to connect it to your practice EHR program. Please don't do that. Um, you want to be compliant with all of this stuff. I wouldn't even use my Honey AI with my patient names. I just wouldn't cross that line. So if you're not super familiar with ChatGPT, it will start the conversation here. I'm actually going to make this a new chat. If I don't save it as a chat, it will save in like the past chats that I've had, but I want to name it and I want to pin it and I want to stay close to it. So I have another AI program on my computer called Whisper Flow, and it allows me to use my option key and just start talking and it will format all of the things that I'm saying. It's very cool. Um, by the way, there's another program called Pocket. Does anybody have a Pocket? Is anyone actively using a Pocket? Nope. A Pocket is like, it's the size of a business card. I'll get it before the end of the session. And you snap it onto your phone and you can record conversations and it will type out all of the notes and create a task list from the conversations. If you do that with patients, you have to give them a heads up. Bedside manner, give whoever you're talking to a heads up that you're recording the conversation. It will also, you can take it off of your phone and just talk into it. You can be sitting in the back of the room at a 500-person convention and it will record everything and create bullets for you. It's crazy cool. Pocket, okay? Um, Josh uses both. And Sheena, just dump the password in the chat when you're ready. Okay, so I'm going to use Whisper, and all I'm doing is hitting the Option key on my keyboard. And I'm going to say, actually, does anybody have an example that they want to build a page for today? Anybody want to play, or should I just kind of wing it? Is anybody like, oh, I really want to see how Jody builds this page? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna wing it. And if you want to take a turn, let me know. I'm totally cool with it. Pediatric and prenatal chiropractor, and I want to create a landing page for people to sign up for my friends and family day that I'm having on Saturday, September 1st. It's a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. I really want it to be I wanted to reach moms and families of my community. I want to I want it to be both aesthetically pleasing and I want it to be really clear what I'm trying to do. What I want you to do is I want you to give me directions for Claude to build the perfect page for me. Ask me 3 questions to narrow down my choices. There's that. I'm going to press send and we're going to go into a conversation. Question 1, what's the main goal of the Friends and Family Day? The main goal of the Friends and Family Day is for me to get a chance to connect with local community members and show them who I am. Also for my practice members to come and share what they get out of care with me with perfect strangers. When somebody signs up, they're going to get an email and they're going to get a text message. I will build that workflow within the practice suite. And when a mom lands on the page, I want her to feel like, wow, this is really something that I want to check out. Jody seems like she's on it, and she seems like she's doing some cool stuff. Right now, I am on, oh, I have to copy it and paste it. Right now, I am on ChatGPT, the pro version, and I'm using a voice to text called Whisper Flow. Sheena, can you look up Whisper Flow and drop the link to it in chat? I know we have a referral code for it if you want to look at that. Um, okay, so here's the instructions that my ChatGPT is creating for Claude. Josh, would you have done anything differently there?
Um, Most of the time I don't limit the questions it asks. I will, at the very end of it, I will say, hey, ask me anything for context that you need to know before, providing the output. Because at that point, sometimes you'll get one question, sometimes you'll get 10 questions, right? Based on whatever the prompt is. So when you do it that way, you also don't have to be as specific and detailed in the initial prompt because it's like, okay, here's in general what I want to do. Make sure you ask me any questions that you have to provide you additional context, and then it'll just ask you some additional things. So in case you don't know, like don't worry if you don't have it all kind
Like
of
if you
mapped out
don't
in your
even know
head.
what to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do 3 questions because I'm really impatient. I don't, but you're not impatient. You're like the most patient person ever. So
that's funny.
you're like, I'll sit here all day and answer questions. No, give me 3 questions. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to take this now and I'm going to go into a different platform. Unless anybody is like, oh, wait, I need to see how you did that. Does anybody want to stop me before I move on? Sheena put Whisperflow AI in the chat. Is that our referral code, Sheena? What is the advantage of Whisperflow over using the mic? If I'm in any other application, that's a great question, Cindy. It will bullet it out and it will fix typos. It will make it so that what you're reading looks polished. I'm just used to using it. I'm used to hitting my option key. And so, but I can also say, I can hit this mic. This is what Cindy was talking about. And make sure that you make this color, the color scheme on this page consistent with my brand. My main color is F137A9. So that's what the mic does. Okay. Uh, and this, I hate that this happens, but it always happens. Now I have to say, now put it all together. Now put it all together. Okay. I'm going to wait for that prompt to populate and then I'm going to move over to Claude. Here we go. Whisperflow works. Josh says Whisperflow works across apps and computer programs, so it'll help do a voice dictation with emails and things like that. Windows has it built in with the key plus H. So you don't have to buy it with Windows?
That's correct. It'll just pop up and it'll have you activate it. So anytime that you hit Windows H, and then you can turn it off and on with a space bar. So on the Windows side, it's got something like that built in. Anywhere that you have text input, but that's the helpful thing with Whisper Flows as well. That's the reason people use it is because it's not just for this screen. It's basically anything you're doing on your computer, and it also does that on your phone app as well, right?
That's
So
cool.
voice dictation is okay, right, across the board with most Apple products, but WhisperFlow does a very good job.
Okay, so I just copied this by hitting this little thing, and Sheena just gave me the password. So I have to agree. And then here is my personally trained AI assistant. Everyone who has a suite has this in their suite. Please use this feature. Please, please, please. Because we worked hard on building that. Okay, I'm going into Claude. You ready? Oh, Claude. I'm giving you like a price breakdown of ChatGPT versus Claude versus Manus. You guys, this can get really expensive really fast, especially Victor. If you're going to use Victor in Slack, I spent $1,000 last month on Victor and I didn't even know I was doing it. Victor is if you're a Slack user and you have a team that you're using it with, it will become your assistant in Slack and outside of Slack. So in the download that I gave you like how credits work in Claude versus ChatGPT versus Manus. So now I'm going to take that. I just copied what I made in ChatGPT and I'm going to paste it right here. And I'm going to have it build me a page. And it's going to be working for a while. I'm just asking it to create one page and then I'm going to come back to it and I'm going to course correct with it. Josh, anything that you want to say about what I just did, or does it look okay?
No, it's fine. And there's going to be things that you're going to work through on Claude. So right now we're using an Opus 5. So if you look right there at the bottom of the box, you'll see it says Open 5 High. That's one of the models that they use that is like it gives you different thinking power. Most of what you're going to do and use is completely fine on what they call Sonnet. And it's not going to burn through your credits. Now, if you're on a $20 plan or something like that, most of the time you won't burn through it anyway, but they do limit you, at least with Claude, they'll limit you in like 4-hour windows, 5-hour windows, something like that with how much you can do. And if you're using really heavy think work on that, it's going to burn through that timeline a lot faster. Right. So
Can
probably
you
not
talk
anything
to
you.
us about the different, so you guys, you down here in the chat window, there's a little thing that says Opus 5 because that's what I chose. It's kind of like the flavor of Claude or their persona of Claude, and each one is known for a different thing. It gives you like, here you can choose the effort or the models.
Yep.
Can you give us like a brief breakdown of these, Josh?
So
This is
whenever you're
also in the
looking,
guide.
so all those things are just the way that things have been trained. Some of them are much more capable in terms of math and science and whatever. If you really want to go through, so again, if you have a paid Claude account or a paid ChatGPT account or any of those types of things, all of these things are relatively the same, on that front. What you want to do to start playing with that so you can see what it is, give it the same problem. So for example, you've got a patient, here's some of the symptomology that they're having. This is, again, one of those things that you want to see how far you can push it. And you already know what the answer should be. Okay, put that in there and see what answers you get back on Sonnet, see what answer you get back on Opus. And then you're going to decide based on the problem that you're having or you're trying to solve for, that you can have that chat back and forth with a little bit on this part of it. Now, I had noticed somebody, Cindy, you had posted, can you please explain credits with all those things? Credits are in some programs, you don't really have to worry about it. So again, if you've got a $20 account in Claude or ChatGPT or Manus or those types of things, I just take that back. Manus, you do have to worry about. But in Claude and ChatGPT, you really don't have to worry about extra usage. The only thing you would pay extra for is if you need more than what you're allocated in that like 5-hour period. So you really don't have to worry about that. But when you do go over into things like Victor, for example, Victor is awesome. It really does a very good job, but it is more expensive than some of the other solutions. Now, I'm not going to nerd out on you today and talk to you guys about other solutions that you can have to build your own. But what we use it for is it's very easy to start putting some of the AI tasks in place. And that's the functional difference between what you're seeing here, which is it's building landing pages as things. Victor will go through and it can create and perform complete workflows. So I'll give you a prime example. Let's say that you were going out and you were having this particular event, but you needed to, you wanted to get information from the different, if you're having it at a hotel or if you're having, like, if you have a location, you need to have it outside of your office. Victor, you could say, hey, I need you to go through and I need you to research the possible places that will hold 100 people or 200 people or whatever it might be. And it'll go out and start doing all that research for you. It will actually create the emails and the different things that need to go out. So if you need feedback and say, okay, what's our pricing, all that stuff, it'll literally go through and be a true assistant in that way, provided that you've given it the tools to use, which is
Can
all like, I think that,
ChatGPT do that, Josh?
um, not as much, not in this particular way. I want to say that you've got in AI, you've got, at this point, you've got the chat version, which is like, okay, I'm just going to talk back and forth to something. And then now you have AI that is like the doer, right?
Mhm.
The doer side of things is why things are a little bit more expensive. And when you have to look at credit-based systems, because all of the tasks are going to cost a certain amount based on, again, not to get nerdy, but things like API calls. I got to go connect with this. For example, Google charges most people money, like most software. So if you have something with your Google Ads and you want to get information from Google's system, they're going to charge you, a nickel to a quarter to pull that information out of their hub, right? So that's where the credits get in. So instead of charging you a quarter for it, they're going to say, "Oh, this is worth 45 credits." So it's just a different version of how to charge for it or recover.
Josh, why is this taking so long?
Because you've got it on Opus High. So
Oh, what do I want to change it to?
So some of the thinking models on that part of it, so it's just building. It's building right
I
now.
am so impatient with this
Yeah,
stuff,
that's
you guys.
okay. So just
Like this is
whenever you
when
go
I
through
go to 5 other screens and
now,
do five
if you
other
go through
things.
and you click on prepared to construct primary HTML, I think if you click on that, it might give you the thinking. Yeah, so it'll give you a drop down
Oh, I
and it'll
see.
tell you what it's doing. So right now it's literally building out the page.
So you guys, I just clicked on this line, prepared to construct primary HTML file.
Yep.
And
So
then
there's
but I can walk away from this. I can go click on a different
yeah,
window. It will still.
yep.
So let me just show you some of the projects that we've created.
Mhm.
Um, Here's a 3-day marketing intense. No, it's not here.
So that's going to be something that's called a project, which all of your businesses, if you have a project or something like that you're putting in place, you can put the context of all of that particular project in, and it's recurring memory. So you don't have to go back in and re-explain things. That's what a
Right.
project is.
So this is a page that I created for my ambassador program in my practice. And basically what this is if there are people in my practice who are not able to afford my care, I have a hardship program and I call it my ambassadors program. And we have certain agreements, and here's me talking about what I'm agreeing to. I'm not going to change their rate now that they're signing up for the ambassador program. Our agreement is here. And then what I did is I put the agreement here and I took this and I took the code of it, and this is where it connects to your practice suite. And I copy this code and I take it over to the suite. Let me go here. Hold on. Here. And this is how we put it all together in the suite. So I'm gonna go back. I'm in funnels here. And I have a funnel that I keep every time I want to create an event, I just duplicate this page. So I'm going to duplicate it because I don't want to mess with my basic one, clone it, and I'm going to call it Jody Ambassador Example. And what I keep on this page is my privacy and terms, my copyright, my click here to schedule. Anything that's clickable, I'll keep here. And then I'm going to go back to that page and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to come on.
Yeah, you don't even have to wait for it to load.
So I'm going to click edit. And on this page that you see this custom HTML JavaScript. So you all have this in your practice suite if you have a suite. If you don't have a suite and you're like, this is way beyond my understanding, don't worry about it. I'm going to click here, open code editor, and I'm going to paste that code that I just grabbed from Claude. And it's going to build the web page for me. And I save it, and then I'm going to view it to make sure it looks right. And if I don't like the way that, why didn't it populate? If I don't like the way that it looks here, save here, save here.
You have to publish.
I don't usually publish it. Should I publish? No.
You'll have to look at the preview.
I should be able to preview it. There it is. So obviously this is a really quick example. Like I don't like the way that this looks, but this is everything that I just built in Claude on that page. And this is the part of the page that I keep. So I always have a button here and that goes to the pop-up on the screen. I also will change these words out. I always keep this and I always keep this. And obviously I would edit this and move this center and so on and so forth. But that's how it comes together. I'm just adding this custom HTML. It's one of the options. Like if you want to add a different section to your page, you just hit the little plus button here. You find the code and let's drop it on the white background because it'll look better. And I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to delete this whole thing actually. There we go. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to go custom code. I'm going to paste the code, save, and view it. And it'll look better because now it has a white background. So that's how you go from Claude to GHL or Claude to GHL equals the practice suite, you guys. Claude to WordPress. You grab the code and then going to WordPress is a little bit more complicated. It takes somebody who has skills, but it's so easy to build a website now and drop it into the practice suite. Let me go back to Claude and see what she came up with. Where was it? Here. And let's go back to this. Was this it? No, that I built this for today. Website. Where was it? Create a lovely guide. No, Untitled. Did I not
Probably
title
Untitled.
it? Notorious for that too, you guys. There we go. So this is the page that I came up with. Is that sick? Then I can go in and I can be like, I don't like this. I want this instead. I want it to look like this instead of this. Or I can start adding photos, or I can do a quick video in Loom. And then drop the video code in here. And again, you guys, if this is over your head, don't worry about it. Just grab the pieces that make sense to you. I also don't have the forms here because you need to do something complicated called a webhook. It's just too complicated for my brain. So I actually keep this right in the practice suite. I don't put the forms from Claude to the practice suite. I keep it in the practice suite. Everything is inherent in the practice suite. Yep. I'm so impatient with waiting for this stuff to create too. Right. I always laugh at my impatience though, knowing it would take me days to do the same thing. Right. When would you then go to Manus, if you would go to Manus at any point in what I just did, Josh?
So if you wanted if you didn't want to take it back into practice suite and you just wanted to have a place where it would just host itself and work, I would use Manus. Manus is a little bit more on the agent side. It'll actually go through and generate your images and that kind of thing for you as well. So it will give you a little bit more of a polished look at the very back end of it. And there's probably less you have to do on that function.
Right. We actually built a lot of websites on Manus, but then we would move them to WordPress and we just found that we were paying double. It didn't make any sense. Yep. Who has questions? And then I do want to go over the drag method because it changed my life. And I just want you guys to have that as a tool. Does anybody have questions before we pivot? Okay, the drag method. So I need a guinea pig for this one. So if somebody wants to volunteer on a challenge that they're trying to figure out for their practice, or a product that they're trying to create for their practice, or anything you want to brainstorm on, while I explain the drag method, think about you being the guinea pig for this. So drag is like when you come to ChatGPT and you're like, I don't even know what to say to it. Like, do I just whisper to it? Do I whistle at it? Do I sing a song? Like, what am I supposed to say? Drag is a recipe. It's DRAG. D is giving the details, the who, what, where, when, why, how, and how much. R is have ChatGPT play a role for you. That's R. The role could be your mom. The role could be Tony Robbins. The role could be Josh. The role could be me. The role could be your best friend combined with your worst enemy, whatever, right? A is having your ChatGPT ask you 3 questions that are going to help it to G generate a response for you, which is whatever you're coming to it for. So D details our role, A ask questions, and G generate a response. Does anybody want to sample the drag method? I've done this with nutrition plans. I've done this with marketing plans. I've done this with book ideas. I've done this with course ideas, all of it. Anybody have something they want to role play with? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Let's do it, Alan. Okay, unmute yourself, my love. And I'd love to see your gorgeous face.
Technical.
Hi.
Good person. Hello. Hi. This sounds so silly. I want to try and go away from notes in my computer and I want to try and I'm trying to develop the world's best soap note card. I know it sounds silly, but how about just working on a portion of that soap card in plan?
Sure. Okay, so
like maybe a list of what I need, what plan, how to condense it, how to,
okay, so and I'm gonna use Whisper Flow and I'm gonna ask you questions, okay?
Sure.
We want to create a plan to design a soap note card for a doctor who has multidisciplinary practice. She wants to go away from the AI note-taking stuff and she just wants to create a card that really works for her brain. So that's the description, the who for a doctor, what soap note card, when we really need this as soon as possible, where we want it to be a PDF that she can download. Why? The purpose of this is really to save her time and to give her a solution that will allow her to be present with her practice members. So that's the D. R. Who's your biggest mentor in practice?
You are.
Oh, my cup runneth over. Thank you. Besides me, anybody else? That's so sweet, Ellen.
I mean, only my personal old mentor, my boss I worked for 20 some years, but
Okay, let's go with that. So play the roles of Dr. Jody Dinnerman, founder and creator of Staffless Practice, as well as this person's greatest mentor in practice of the past 25 years. Ask 3 questions that are going to help us get closer to generating the perfect travel card for her practice. Here we go. DRAG. Walk me through your perfect visit from the moment you walk into the room until the moment your practice member leaves. What do you naturally think about and in what order? Can I make up the answer? No, you give me the answer. So go
okay.
ahead and give me that answer.
From the moment you walk into the room until the moment your practice members, what do you naturally think about and in what order? How they're responding to treatment, how was their last visit, how are they feeling today? What can I do to make their visit better next time, and home things to do. And
That
then
recorded. I didn't know if that were recorded, Josh, and it did. Okay, next question. What are you documenting over and over again that feels repetitive?
return on next scheduled visit.
Return on next scheduled visit. For me, it's who is this person? I see so many pregnant women and babies, and all the babies look alike. So, which baby is this, and what's going on with this baby? So, like distinguishing factors or unique attributes of the person or situations, or what's their care plan, or when is their next visit. I stopped using travel cards like 3 months ago, and I think I'm going to go back to them because honestly, at least 3 times a week, I'm like, I know this person, and I have to look at Jane and see which person they are. One of the reasons I miss having somebody in the office sometimes. At the end of the visit, what information do you absolutely need to have captured so someone handed this card 6 months from now, you could instantly remember the visit and defend your care if necessary? Really good question.
Functional deficits. pain levels, obviously, any positive orthopedic findings, previous injuries or new injuries. That's all I can think of at the moment.
Is there anything else like from an insurance perspective that you need to have? Codes, like treatment codes? Do you want that on there or that's too complicated?
I guess maybe just to delineate between a 98940, 98941, 98942, 98943.
Okay,
How's that? I threw those in there.
that's what Josh was gonna say.
Are you impressed? I know those numbers.
Well, the other side is if you're not quite sure which and what information you may want to capture, ask it like, am I missing anything that might be useful?
Oh,
Are we missing anything that might be useful? Josh, is it bad to ask another question to the chatbot while it's running?
I usually let it finish,
I
right?
can't.
Because otherwise it can mess up whatever the process is that's going. So
I'm constantly interrupting it, and Lori gets so pissed off when we're working on a really complicated command or prompt. Okay, so one thing I would not include, I wouldn't try to claim every billing code, diagnosis code, or insurance requirement. If it becomes an insurance firm, doctors won't use it. The primary purpose should be keep the doctor present, capture the clinical story, make the documentation faster, trigger memory at the next visit. One final idea, since this is for staffless practice, I'd like to design it as double-sided. I actually have this travel card and it rocks my world. It's so awesome. Are we ready to create it?
sure.
Let's go ahead and create the card, make it a two-sided PDF. And we'll let that run. Now
yeah,
I
so
can't, would you go in between these, Josh?
in something like this, it just depends on how deep I wanted it to go. Obviously, it's going to take more time, but in something like this, there's not a super high amount of think work, so I think it's probably okay.
See, I don't like that. I'd want it to be, I'd want like 10 visits on each side, right?
Yeah.
Or you want one card per visit, Ellen, or you want 10 or I have my travel card I think has 12 visits on each side.
I like that. If it can fit, I would like 12
To
because it's
just
like a
tell it to
magic.
like, hey, do 12
Can
visits
you
on
make 12 visits on each side instead of one visit on each side? That would have been in the description.
Yeah, and I don't know, like in the future, like I'm kind of like doing this in my own chat GPT. I'm sorry, is this recording me? I'm so sorry. But I'm kind of doing this in my own chat GPT. I've just literally started over the weekend and just of course trying to find time between funerals and stuff this week. But I
It's going further and further away from what I want for you.
yeah.
You want me to show
Oh.
you mine?
Now, what you might want to do, so it's funny because if you take, let's go back over to the main,
Sheena, can you find
chat.
my travel card, my BGI travel card, and we can also take the image of that and put it in the chat conversation to say, make it look more like this?
So here's what I want you to do. I want you
Yes, my
to
dear.
put something in, and it'll record me. I'll tell
Go,
you.
it's recording.
So what I want you to do is give me the image creation prompt that I can give to Nano Banana or Chat GPT that will generate the graphic file of this in a nice, clean way.
And before I press enter, can you just tell people who you are in our world if they didn't hear me introduce you in the beginning?
I run a marketing agency that helps a lot of other agencies, in addition to a lot of other types of clients with their ads, SEO, like those types of things. I started in marketing back in 2003 before, the internet was a thing, but we didn't really have internet marketing. So my baseline is really more analog. And then I've just carried a lot of those direct response principles over into digital. And then lately, for probably the last, I don't know, 4 to 5 years, it's been a little bit longer than that, but we do a lot with automations and basically hooking systems up to making it, workflows. Now with AI, we've been able to do a lot more with that. So we've got a whole division of our business that really focuses on these types of things for the most
And
part.
in layman's terms, Josh is our ads dude. He's like,
Has
if
to.
you're like, hey, Jody, I'm ready to start running ads or I'm ready to invest in SEO, I baton pass to Josh and his team takes care of you.
Yep.
Okay, so what is Nano Banana?
So Nano Bananas is Google's image generator.
Oh,
So if you're using Gemini or if you're using one of their programs, it works out well. Me personally, I like ChatGPT's image generator a whole lot better. Um, Myself, so my family, I grew up in a sign company, and we use it nearly every day inside the sign business for people's new logos and all that kind of stuff. Now, there's processes to it. It doesn't work straight out the box, but for this case, it will.
it
Um,
seems like it's just giving us more information.
Yeah, that's okay. So what we want to do, so just copy, so
Oh,
if you hit yep, just copy that. And let's go back over to chat.
okay.
Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to hit the plus button and we're going to say create an image. So it's right there in your main, yep, right there in your main thing. And we're going to create an image and then just paste that in.
Stop it.
So now here's the thing. It might not be the best fit for where you're wanting to go with it right this moment, but it usually does a pretty good job out the gate. Well, I've got a new AI operator book releasing probably next week, and all of the internal graphics and worksheets and the other resources to help people plan their AI implementation and those things was all done using ChatGPT. We just took basically chapters of the book. So I need you to condense this down into something that's a worksheet that people can use to help their planning. And it did all of it. So
Sheena, can you connect with Cindy? Cindy's wanting to work with Josh. You guys, if you want to work with Josh, um, we work together. My team does all of the brand beautiful stuff and his team sets it in motion. So you want to reach out to me, you want to have a discovery call with me, and I'll put you in Josh's program within the Staffless practice ecosystem. And Sheena, if you want to drop the link to I think it's callwithdrjody.com.
so now
Uh,
if you open that,
oh, that's cool.
if you just open that up now, obviously you have to, you can save it and then you'll be able to zoom up on it. But
How
you
do
can
I open
change.
it, Josh? Excuse my ignorance. I'm clicking
Yeah,
on.
that's okay. Just right click on, if you just right click on it, open an image, a new tab, and then that should make it a little bit bigger for you. Right. Uh, okay. So hit command and then the plus button or the plus sign, and that'll zoom it up as well. Right. So
I
I'm
like
not for sure.
that, Ellen. I think that looks cool, right?
Yeah, I
So
think that's a nice, that's a really good start. It looks really good.
I'd take out the hearts.
Yeah,
Um, and then what you can do is you can front back this and send it to Staples, get it printed on cardstock. You always want to do these on cardstock, otherwise it's going to be a floppy piece of paper.
yep.
Uh, Sheena, can you grab a visual of my travel card? Or are you having a hard time finding it?
I couldn't find it, Dr. Jody. Is
Look
it on
in
your
the
email?
look in the light source drive.
Okay.
It's BGI travel card. Any questions about what we just did? It's next level. And it's also exhausting. And it's also, there's definitely a component of it where you feel like you can't touch it. It's not tangible. Like the paper that I use, I've never valued it more. You know what I mean? Like I can count on this. I don't know if this is going to disappear in an hour or what I did wrong or do I know the latest and greatest. So you really have to, especially if you were born in the 1970s or 1960s, like we really have to pace ourselves. Otherwise, this will make us mad. Um, and that is just as true with our practice members. So I will say that and Josh and I had a conversation about this. I've absolutely seen people in the private practice sector using things like AI voice to call patients. Or you guys be careful. If your practice member knows that you have a bot calling them, you're going to lose trust. Period, bottom line. So please be mindful. Be mindful of how lonely people are because this is the new way of working with somebody, right? This is the new way of talking to people, of brainstorming. We no longer are talking to each other in many situations. So people are coming to you with the problems that I'm talking about. What questions do you have? What thoughts do you have? What do you want to hear more of or less of? I will say one more thing. It's kind of a hot topic right now. A lot of people are talking about integration. We just did that in ChatGPT. Yes, my love.
Image creator. Yes, we did.
A
Yeah.
lot of people are talking about integration and automation. And my rule of thumb with all things staffless practice is things either need to be done, like you just get them done, or delegated, automated, or taken off of the list.
Mhm.
It's not always automated. Sometimes the meaningful conversations with our practice members should not be automated. Educating our practice members, maybe half of it should be automated. The other half is need heart-to-heart conversations. Asking for a referral should not be automated, you guys. It should be, John, I know you love coming here. Who do you know that? If I say that to my practice member, their response is usually, I didn't know that you still had space on your schedule. I totally have people who want to see you. But if it's an automation and an email that sits in their inbox, that's Dr. Sharita and I were talking about this yesterday. Like, ask the question, who do you know that could use this care? You love it, so share it, right? Um, so back to my point about integration, a lot of people are saying my EHR doesn't integrate with a practice suite. This EHR program does integrate with a practice suite. And throughout this journey from in the past 4 years, I've taken every problem or challenge, like Jane app not seeing the practice suite, and I've created a better solution for it. The lead flow system, it's amazing. When I have patients on my schedule who have signed up for a lead flow appointment, I know that I'm going to know them and they're going to already trust me by the time they come in for visit one. If they go right to my Jane calendar and schedule an initial consultation, I don't know who's walking in my door. I don't know if they signed up for the right kind of appointment. I don't know if they're drunk. I don't know if they just got this or that injected, whatever, right? I'm not going to go there. I don't know what the situation is, and I cannot handle that unknown running a staffless practice or running a practice that is like Dr. Sharita's practice. So I want you to be really careful where you use AI and where you use integration. Do not just listen to what I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. Because there are a lot of people like, I want this to integrate. I want that to integrate. Be really mindful. And there are always ways to connect with practice members in meaningful ways, using one-click solutions, but still making it count, making it make sense. Main focus of what we intend to do is help companies. Whoa, it just disappeared. Help
Yeah,
companies.
so I'll tell you the guys that as you work through your practice, anything that's invisible to the patient, that comes with billing, it comes with admin work, it comes with all those things they don't see. Automate that stuff because that will give you the time to spend in those real connective states, right?
Right.
Now
I
there
love
are still some things you can do for client, like appointment reminders and that kind of stuff are always awesome, and like nobody really cares as much. But the biggest thing is using the technology to allow yourself to design those moments of serendipity to where it's like this person had this experience and they were wowed by it, which by the way helps them go refer other people to you because of the experience that they had in office. But unless we're designing for that, we like you can design all that now. Like Disney proves 100% of the time, and you don't have to have Disney budgets to design things to say like, hey, this happened. It could be using AI to watch all of you. If you have a patient roster and you have all their Facebook profiles in, and it goes out once a day to be like, hey, is there anything going on with people? Oh, they had a death in the family. If you send them flowers because they had a
I
death in the
don't know that you
family,
can do that though because of HIPAA compliance. I wouldn't do
it
that.
has HIPAA is all about personally identifiable health information. If
But
it
in
if their health information is not available, then it doesn't matter. By
But
the
if
way, that's
I'm
something.
sending them flowers as their chiropractor
Mhm.
using AI, I'm telling AI that they're my patient.
No,
I
it's
would
when
just
you have a
double, you
database.
guys just double click on it. That's all.
When you have a database. So here's how, like, we have to deal with this obviously all the time. And when you have the PHI, that's really the centralized point of this. If you have a database over here that says, hey, here's the people that we worked with in the past, right? Doesn't matter for what. It doesn't matter. Like, you don't have any of that information stored. This might as well be a homeowner's list that you rented, right? So when you're out there watching for that, like, this is it doesn't necessarily reside. Like, so this is something you would give Victor to be like, here's a list of people. I just want you to keep tabs
I'd be
and see what's
so,
happening.
no way, man. I'd be
I get
so
it.
nervous
But
to
if you
say
go
yes
back
to
through
that.
so I can confidently say that because one of my other business partners is an attorney, and we've had this conversation at length over this
Can
part of it.
he
So, like,
come tell us that?
yes, yeah,
Then
that's
I would
completely
rest.
fine. I
Then
can
I
have,
would sleep at night. You know, I
hey,
still, I
fair
have
enough.
to say to you guys, like, anything that you do, you have to run it by your HIPAA compliant
Yes,
officer, whoever that is. I
100%.
wouldn't do that because I wouldn't become, I would worry that I'd mess it up somehow.
Yeah,
So,
fair,
okay, we
100%
have
fair
to
enough.
end, you guys. So, in a nutshell, play with ChatGPT. If you have a practice suite, play with the Honey button, Honey AI, Honey Assist, Honey Collect. If you if you feel bold, lean into Claude. Start learning about how to use it. If you use Slack, use Victor. If you need ads or SEO, I will connect you with Josh. It needs to start through me because our team needs to collect the order. There's a breadcrumb trail that we have to follow for really intentional reasons. Um, Go make the world better with great care. I love you guys and thank you for being here. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll talk soon.